Saturday. I woke up at 6:30 this morning and couldn't get back to sleep, which was pretty frustrating. But that's been happening to me ever since the beginning of the year. On New Year's Eve, Mom wanted me to feel what it's like to be up at midnight without actually letting me stay up that late. So she set the clocks in the house ahead by 3 hours. She didn't tell me though. So when Mom and Dad did a countdown with Manny, I thought it was midnight for real. I ended up going to bed at 10:30 that night, thinking it was 1:30 in the morning. So my whole schedule has been off by 3 hours this year. I don't usually wake up on weekends until Dad literally drags me out of bed, especially during the winter when it's cold outside and it's nice and warm under the covers. I remember a time last winter when Dad woke me at 8 o'clock Saturday morning, told me to go outside and shovel snow up the walkway. I've been in the middle of a really good dream, but I was able to get out of bed, shovel the walkway, and get right back into my dream without missing a beat. It went like this. I was dreaming, and the best boy swept winner is there, dress, shovel, bed, great happily. This morning after I woke up, I lay in bed for a while trying to get back to sleep. Eventually, I just went downstairs and made myself some breakfast. There's nothing good on TV before 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, so I decided to get some of my chores over with. Me and Roderick never have enough money to buy anything, so Mom has been paying us some allowance to do chores. One of my chores is dusting the dining room furniture, and that's what I was doing this morning when I heard a knock at the front door. I opened the door and was surprised to see Uncle Gary standing on the front steps. Dad came downstairs a minute later, and he didn't seem too happy to see his younger brother. A few weeks back, Uncle Gary called Dad and said he has a once-in-a-lifetime business opportunity and needed a loan. Dad didn't want to give Uncle Gary any money because Uncle Gary has a bad track record when it comes to paying people back. But Mom told Dad he should do it because Uncle Gary is his brother and family members should always help each other out. Mom's always saying the same sort of thing to me and Roderick. I just hope I never did kidding or something like that, because if Roderick is the guy I'm counting on to give to me, I could be in trouble. Dad sent Uncle Gary the money, and we hadn't heard from him until today. After Uncle Gary came inside the house, he told us what happened. He said he met a guy in Boston who sold t-shirts on the street corner. This guy told him that if he wanted to take over his business, he could make a bundle. So after he got the money from Dad, Uncle Gary bought up the guy's t-shirts. But what Uncle Gary didn't know was that the t-shirts had a typo on them, and by the time he noticed the problem, the guy was already gone. He now owns the 4 stores worth of t-shirts that say Boston. Uncle Gary told Dad he needs a place to stay until he can get on his feet again. Dad didn't seem too happy about that. But by then, Mom was downstairs, and he told us Uncle Gary he can stay as long as he needs. But when Mom saw the moving in the driveway, he told Uncle Gary we didn't really have any room in our house for extra furniture. He said she didn't need to worry because he didn't have any furniture. The moving van was filled with boxes of t-shirts, which we spent the rest of the morning loading into our garage. I don't think Uncle Gary is giving up on selling them either. He unloaded one on Roger for $3, and I think Roger feels like he got a steal. Monday. Living with Uncle Gary hasn't been easy. On his first few nights in the house, he slept on an air mattress in the man's room, but Uncle Gary has these nightmares that wake him in the middle of the night. Last Monday, he had a really bad one. He was shouting in his sleep, "There's monkeys in the woods! There's monkeys in the woods!" So now Uncle Gary is sleeping on the couch in the family room, and Manny's bed in the middle of his room, away from the walls. It's really inconvenient with Uncle Gary sleeping on our couch. His bad dreams keep him up all night, and then he sleeps through most of the day. That really stings when you just want to relax after school and watch some TV. Saturday. I woke up at 6:30 this morning and couldn't get back to sleep, which was pretty frustrating. But that's been happening to me ever since the beginning of the year. On New Year's Eve, Mom wanted Manny to feel what it's like to be up at midnight without actually letting me stay up that late. So she set the clocks in the house ahead by 3 hours. She didn't tell me though. So when Mom and Dad did a countdown with Manny, I thought it was midnight for real. I ended up going to bed at 10:30 that night, thinking it was 1:30 in the morning. So my whole schedule has been off by 3 hours this year. I don't usually wake up on weekends until Dad literally drags me out of bed, especially during the winter, when it's cold outside and it's nice and warm under the covers. I remember a time last winter when Dad woke me at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning and told me to go outside and shovel snow off the walkway. I've been in the middle of a really good dream, but I was able to get out of bed, shovel the walkway, and get right back into my dream without missing a beat. And the best biceps winner is Dad, bed, shovel, bed, Greg Heffley. This morning after I woke up, I lay in bed for a while trying to get back to sleep. Eventually, I just went downstairs and made myself some breakfast. There's nothing good on TV before 8 o'clock on the Saturday morning, so I decided to get some of my chores over with. Me and Roderick never have enough money to buy anything, so Mom has been paying us an allowance to do chores. One of my chores is dusting the dining room furniture, and that's what I was doing this morning when I heard a knock at the front door. I opened the door and was surprised to see Uncle Gary standing on the front steps. Dad came downstairs a minute later, and he didn't seem too happy to see his younger brothers. A few weeks back, Uncle Gary called Dad and said he had a once-in-a-lifetime business opportunity and needed a loan. Dad didn't want to give Uncle Gary any money because Uncle Gary has a bad track record when it comes to paying people back. But Mom told Dad he should do it because Uncle Gary is his brother and family members should always help each other out. Mom's always saying the same sort of thing to me and Roderick. I just hope I never need a kidney or something like that, because if Roderick is the guy I'm counting on to give it to me, I could be in trouble. Dad sent Uncle Gary the money, and we hadn't heard from him until today. After Uncle Gary came inside the house, he told us what happened. He said he met a guy in Boston who sold t-shirts on the street corner, and this guy told him that if he wanted to take over his business, he could make a bundle. So after he got the money from Dad, Uncle Gary bought up the guy's t-shirts. But what Uncle Gary didn't know was that the t-shirts had a typo on them. And by the time he noticed the problem, the guy was already gone. Uncle Gary told Dad he needs a place to stay until he can get on his feet again. Dad didn't seem too happy about that. But by then, Mom was downstairs and she told Uncle Gary he can stay as long as he needs. But when Mom saw the moving van in the driveway, she told Uncle Gary we didn't really have any room in our house for extra furniture. He said she didn't need to worry because he didn't have any furniture. The moving van was filled with boxes of t-shirts, which would spend the rest of the morning loading into our garage. I don't think Uncle Gary is giving up on selling them either. He unloaded one on Roderick for $3, and I think Roderick feels like he got a sale. Monday. Living with Uncle Gary hasn't been easy. On his first few nights in the house, he slept on air mattresses in Manny's room. But Uncle Gary has these nightmares that wake him up in the middle of the night, and last Monday he had a really bad one. There's monkeys in the woods! There's monkeys in the woods! So now Uncle Gary is sleeping on the couch in the family room, and Manny's bed is in the middle of his room, away from the walls. It's really inconvenient with Uncle Gary sleeping on our couch. His bad dreams keep him up all night, and then he sleeps through most of the day. That really stinks when you just want to relax after school and watch some TV. Couch in the family room, especially on the weekends. Now Roderick doesn't have anywhere to go when they kick summer in the basement Saturday mornings. Dad has really been nagging Uncle Gary to find him a job. Uncle Gary says he tries and no one is hiring. Uncle Gary has never hired down a job for more than a few days. The last one he had was over the summer when he worked as a test subject for a company that made pepper spray. I'm pretty sure it could be for lunch. Dad wants Uncle Gary to get a job like he has, where we work in office every regular hours. But I thought Uncle Gary's called out for an office job. I'm not so sure I am either. Dad has dressed up for work every day in a shirt and tie. He has to wear dress shoes and dress socks too. I've already decided that when I grow up, I'm gonna have to find a job where you don't need to wear those socks that go up to your knees. Just see my dad at breakfast in socks and jockey shirts, and you'll agree. Last summer, Dad brought me to Bring Your Child to Work Day at his office. But the people at Dad's work must realize their jobs will be boring to their kids, so they brought in all sorts of entertainment. For most of the day, kids stay in the cafeteria where the grown-ups got some work done in their offices. Toward the end of the day, Dad brought me into his office where he tried to finish up an important project, so I sat there next to him waiting. But I think it was hard for him to concentrate while someone looking over his shoulder. Dad gave me money to buy something from the vending machine. He was probably just trying to get rid of me for a little while, so he wasn't too happy when I came back a minute later with a box of jawbreakers. Who knew those babies with no noise and make crunch down? Dad told me he really needed to finish what he was doing, so he asked me to find somewhere else to sit while he wrapped things up. He must have been real distracted that day, though, because he went home and left me behind. I might have been stuck there all night if the janitor hadn't found me. Anyway, Dad is pretty annoyed that Uncle Gary doesn't have any money and has been mooching off him. Mom has actually started giving Uncle Gary an allowance, even though he doesn't have to do any chores for it, which feels wrong to me. I just hope Uncle Gary used some of his allowance to pay for his own bubble bath. He used up all of mine the second day he was here, and it's really not the same when the water is crystal clear. Shoot, look sharp. We're starting a ballroom dancing unit, phys ed. Mrs. Moretta said that Chubba needed to find a partner. So it wasn't a good day to be wearing cozy little pants that are 3 inches too short and go shwee, shwee, shwee. Mrs. Moretta said we are going to choose partners by writing down the name of the person we want to dance with on a little slip of paper. Then she'll go through the pieces of paper and pair us up the best she could. That was the same system she used last year for the square dancing unit, though. I totally got burned. I wrote down the name of the prettiest girl in my class, Bailey Anthony. But she didn't write down my name. She wrote down Bryce Anderson, just like every other girl in the class. And Mrs. Moretta signed Bailey to be my dance partner because I picked her. At first, I was really excited I got Barry as a partner, but then I had to deal with this kind of nonsense for 3 weeks. I didn't pick him. I guess Barry didn't want to repeat of last year either, because today she went around to all the guys who didn't have a chance with her and let them know, announcing, "Don't any of you nerds write my name down." To be honest with you, I don't really care who I get paired with, as long as it isn't Ruby Bird. As far as I know, Ruby is the only girl who has ever suspended from my school, and that was from biting a teacher. In fact, The reason Ruby only has one front tooth is because the other one ended up with Mr. Underwood's elbow. I try to put it nice to Ruby whenever I come across her in the hallway, because she terrifies me. But today I got worried that maybe I'm being too nice. She might think I actually like her. The last thing I need is for Ruby to write my name down on the little slip of paper, because I know if she's my dance partner, I'll do something to make her mad and end up with her other tooth in my arm. So I use my little slip of paper to try and make sure that doesn't happen. Please do not put me with Ruby Bird. Sincerely, Greg Heffley. I even drew in a half-eaten candy bar I was saving for later on to make sure Mr. Moretta comes through for me. The person who's been affected the most by Uncle Gary is Roderick, though. Before Uncle Gary moved in, Roderick practically lived on the couch in the family room, especially on the weekends. Now, Roderick doesn't have anywhere to go when Dad kicks him out of bed in the basement on Saturday morning. The other day, Roderick came upstairs, and when he saw Uncle Gary in his spot, he just slept on another part of the couch. Dad has really been nagging Uncle Gary about finding a job, but Uncle Gary says he's tried and no one is hiring. Uncle Gary has never held down a job for more than a few days. The last one he had was over the summer when he worked as a test subject for a company that made pepper spray. I'm pretty sure he quit before lunch. Dad wants Uncle Gary to get a job like he has, where you work in an office and have regular hours. But I don't think Uncle Gary is called out for an office job, and I'm not so sure I am either. Dad has to dress up for work every day in a shirt and tie, and he has to wear dress shoes and dress socks too. I've already decided that when I grow up, I'm gonna have to find a job where you don't need to wear those socks that go up to your knees. Last summer, Dad brought me to bring your child to work day at his office. But the people at that work must realize their jobs will be boring to their kids, so they brought in all sorts of entertainment. For most of the day, us kids stayed in the cafeteria while the grown-ups got some work done in their offices. Towards the end of the day, Dad brought me into his office while he tried to finish up an important project. So I sat there next to him and waited. But I think it was hard for him to concentrate while someone is working over his shoulder. Dad gave me money to buy something from the vending machine. He was probably just trying to get rid of me for a little while, so he wasn't too happy when I came back a minute later with a box of jawbreakers. Dad told me he really needed to finish what he was doing, so he asked me to find somewhere else to sit while he wrapped things up. He must be really distracted that day though, because he went home and left me behind. I might have been so stuck there all night if the janitor hadn't found me. Anyway, Dad is pretty annoyed that Uncle Gary doesn't have any money and has been mooching off him. Mom has actually started giving Uncle Gary an allowance even though he doesn't have to do any chores for it, which feels wrong to me. I just hope Uncle Gary uses some of his allowance to pay for his own bubble bath. He used a bottle of mine on the second day he was there, and it's really not the same when the water is crystal clear. Tuesday. I really wish I didn't have to throw my jeans out a few weeks ago, because today in school I needed to look sharp. We are starting a ballroom dancing unit in phys ed, and Mrs. Moretta said each of us needed to find a partner. So it wasn't a good day to be wearing corduroy pants that are 3 inches too short. Mrs. Moretta said we are gonna choose partners by writing down the name of the person we wanted to dance with on a little slip of paper. When she'd go through the pieces of paper and pair us up the best she could. That was the same system she used last year for the square dancing unit though, and I totally got burned. I wrote down the name of the prettiest girl in my class, Bailey Anthony. but she didn't write down my name. She wrote down Bryce Anderson, just like every other girl in the class. Bryce ended up picking Mackenzie Pollard, and Mrs. Morana assigned Bailey to be my dance partner because I had picked her. At first, I was really excited I got Bailey as a partner, but then I had to deal with this kind of nonsense for 3 weeks. I didn't pick him. I guess Bailey didn't want a repeat of the last year either, because today she went around to all the guys who didn't have a chance with her and let them know. Don't any of you nerds write my name down. To be honest with you, I don't really care who I paired up with as long as it isn't Ruby Bird. As far as I know, Ruby is the only girl who has ever been suspended from our school, and that was for biting a teacher. In fact, the reason Ruby only has one front tooth is because the other one ended up in Mr. Underwood's elbow. I try to be pretty nice to Ruby whenever I come across her in the hallway, because she terrifies me. But today, I got worried that maybe I've been too nice. She might think I actually like her. The last thing I need is for Ruby to write my name down on the little slip of paper, because I know if she's my dance partner, I'll do something to make her mad and end up with her other tooth in my arm. So I used my little slip of paper to try and make sure that doesn't happen. Please do not put me with Ruby Bird. Sincerely, Greg Happily. I've been drawing a half-eaten candy bar I was saving for later on to make sure Mrs. Morta comes through for me.